Hello, dear students, engineers, and doctors. So we are continuing solving mechanics paper, crystallizing the left concepts from this paper of the syllabus of M1, January 2025. We are on question 5. Question 5 saying, in a game, a ball B is rolled across horizontal surface towards a fixed target. The ball is modeled as a particle moving with constant velocity. Label it with V, guys, with an arrow like this. Denote vectors clearly. At time t1 equals to t1 second, the position vector, the initial vector or displacement, is given by negative 2i plus 5j meters. At time 9 seconds, the position vector of B is 10i minus 3j meters. Find the velocity of the ball. This is easy part. But here we have to pay attention to the initial time and final time. It's not commonly coming, but you have to, usually we do starting from time 0. So when you do calculate the velocity, we know that the velocity is displacement by time, dividing by time. But here the time is difference of 2 times. And you are given the displacement as difference of 2 vectors. So this will give that V is equal to final position vector minus the initial one, all divided by the difference of time, the interval of time, which is 9 minus 1. So this will lead to that V equals to, directly next step we simplify the I components and the j components by combining like terms. So you'll get 10 minus minus 2, which is 12i minus 3 minus 5 minus 8j divided by 8. So the velocity vector is 12 over 8i minus 8 over 8j, which is 3 over 2i minus j meter per second. That crystal, that clear, that easy. Part B, the position vector of the target is 13i minus 5j. Use the model to find the distance of B from the target at time 7 seconds. Also easy part. If some of you, dear engineers and doctors, not familiar, my dear students, of course, lovely students in the school, they are familiar with this, because mostly even the textbooks, like most of the books, like Pearson books and other books for M1, they write the vector as dark letters. This is not useful and helpful to us as vector. They dark it like this, V. Should not be darking or bolding a color for. So wow, the best way to notate vectors by putting an arrow, drawing an arrow, showing this quantity is a vector. There is a mistake here before you proceed. Many students, according to statistics, when they say find the velocity, it comes to their mind the magnitude, the speed. So they find the magnitude of the velocity. The question wants the velocity. So we find the velocity as a vector. As a vector. Finished. For part B, he gives you the position vector of the target in the question. Use this information or this model to find the distance. First to start in this, the best. Denote, notate, what are you doing? So distance or vector displacement from B to the target, call it, for example, D vector. So once we find first the D vector, then we calculate the distance, which is the magnitude of this. So we have to find the D vector first, the displacement from B to the target. How do you find this? Step number 1, which is small steps. We know that the initial vector at T1 is negative 2i plus 5j. This one, let me label it for you in different color to see it. Plus Vt. T is 7 in this question. So what do you do here in this case? 7 minus 1. Getting the initial displacement, negative 2i plus 5j. We know the constant velocity is v. We found it in part A. So it will be 7 minus 1, 6 times 3 over 2i minus j. Simplifying, minus 2i plus 5j. Expand or multiply the 6, which is 9i minus 6j. So this will give us negative 2i. Let me write this in details to you. 5 minus 6j. So this is the initial vector, 7i minus j. This is the final vector here. I will do it in different color as well. So the vector D is what on the next page? The vector D is the relative vector from the given one, the final one, which is 13i minus 5j minus the vector 7i minus j. Simplifying as well, 13 minus 7i minus 5 minus minus is plus 1j. Giving 6i plus negative 4j. Now he wants the distance. Of course, you have to show the distance, the modulus, the magnitude of the vector D, which is from B to the target. 6 squared plus negative 4 squared under the square root, which is radical 36 plus 16, which is radical 52. It's okay to stop here, but we prefer simplifying. So this is 2 radical 13, or in decimal to 3 significant figures, 7.21 meters. Many students, according to my experience, they complain about vectors, but when you notate the vectors, when you write the steps, when you recognize what does the question want, step by step, simplifying, even you have the calculator, step by step, you have time in the exam, just do the proper steps, and you get your answer easily. Dear engineers and doctors that they didn't have the chance, hopefully, I can say it is a good chance. As you see, crystallizing step by step, getting our desired grades. Any question, write in the comments. I may do a live session to clarifying some chapters or concepts for M1 rather than doing past papers. So subscribe the channel, stay updated, leaving you always as usual with well and safe.